I think we're pretty much good to go. So let's get to today's topic, which is my time at the Maryland, no, not Maryland, yeah, at the Renaissance festivals in Colorado. Now, mind you, this is a place I wanted to go to for a very long time because back during college, I saw some of my friends were also going to Renaissance festivals and they were dressing up and having a really great time. And it was something I really wanted to do. It was kind of like a bucket list thing. But back then, I just didn't have the time. I was either working on my job, college work, or maybe the rest of the family was doing something. So we couldn't really go to an event like that at the time. So it was something I always wanted to go to, but I couldn't do it until more recently when we moved to Colorado and we had more time to do it. So the first time I went to the Renaissance Festival, which was in Larkspur, Colorado, it's a little bit from here. So the first time I went, it was me, my family, and a couple cousins that happened to be around. So the first time we get there, there is this huge group waiting outside the entrance. And then at the top of the entrance where it says like Renaissance Festival, you get the castle entrance and stuff like that. What happens is there's these bunch of people that's dressed up like jesters, kings, queens, knights, all that stuff. They're greeting the customers coming in, making jokes here and there. And it's like even before you step into the Renaissance Festival, you could really feel the authenticity in the atmosphere. It's like the actors and the outfits are really giving it their all. They're really enjoying it, even though it's in the middle of summer and it's blazing hot. So I'll get more to that in a bit. But the thing is, like, when you go to this event, you can tell that you're going to have a great time. Unless you have a hard time dealing with large crowds, because Renaissance festivals are very popular and lots of people love going there, so keep that in mind. So when the doors open, everyone's coming into the Renaissance Festival, though there are some things you need to know, specifically if you're going in the summertime. First and foremost is you'll want to wear a hat or something like that. Maybe, there we are. Something like this. This hat, it's a light color, so it's not going to make you feel hotter by absorbing heat. The other thing is that when you get a hat like this wet, it actually cools you down for a couple hours. So it's very useful to have. I highly recommend it. The other thing is drink plenty of water. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, can't you just bring your own water bottles to this event? For the one I went to, no. There's actually a rule that says no food or beverages before coming into the Renaissance Festival. They really want you to have the drinks and food in the event. So be sure to keep that in mind. Have some money for that just in case, So when we get in, it's like you are fully immersed into this entirely different world. Like you're taken all the way back to times before the TV, before the internet, before, a lot of this modern stuff, back to like the times of the pirates, the times of medieval knights, kings, queens, you name it. So it really felt incredible just walking in there for the first time and seeing all there is to see. And it's also cool to see the customers and the guests coming in participating in it as well. And I'm not just talking about wearing casual outfits like this. No. Some people go the extra mile when it comes to participating in this. There are some people that dress up as knights, and I mean like fully armored knights. I don't know how they managed to pull that off in the summer heat. Maybe they have some like cooling fans or AC system that's built in there, because it can be done. It's just pretty difficult, but I know it can be done. Maybe that's what they're doing in the armor suits. I don't know. There are those that are dressing up as like pirates, wizards, or maybe a mix of the bunch. Like there was this Captain Jack Sparrow that was dressed up as like a wizard or something like that. That was pretty weird. And there are some people that even cosplay stuff from like animes or video games. Like I've actually seen a few cosplays of Zolo or like Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece. I don't really watch it that much. I just know the characters. And there's actually a couple people that cosplayed as Link, complete with the Master Sword, the Hylian Shield, the little Navi Fairy, and they even have an Ocarina time. And what they would do is they would stay at a spot and play the ocarina for viewers and customers coming in, and they accept tips as well. So there's like, people really get into this. Like, you don't have to like just wear any outfit. If you want to, go all out and wear a medieval costume or a pirate costume or a fancy outfit or whatever, go for it. It's encouraged and welcomed in that kind of environment. So it's really amazing, like, just feeling the atmosphere of it all. So, as for the size of the Renaissance Festival, I think it kind of depends from state to state, but the one I went to, which is in Larkspur, Colorado, I want you to imagine, if you can, the size of the Arundel Mills Mall, okay? So Arundel Mills Mall in Hanover, Maryland, it's roughly around that size, but maybe a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, if you will. And there's a lot of steep hills that you're going to have to go up, and some uneven roading, like there's some stumps or rocks or boulders and stuff like that, so you do want to be careful about that. So it's roughly around the size. Now let's talk about my personal experience there. So the 2 times I went to the Renaissance Festival, each one I kind of had a specific goal in mind, because I was worried that if I did not go in there with a goal, I'm going to be like buying stuff left and right, and my wallet would go afterwards. So the first time I went there, my goal was to get myself 1 or 2 magic wands, because that's what I really like. I grew up watching Harry Potter. I love magic. So people can keep their swords and their shields and their spears or whatever. Wingardium Leviosa. That's what I say. So that was my goal for it. And I didn't get to it until like near the end, which is probably a good thing. So that way I could enjoy the journey getting there. Because at the Renaissance Festival, there's all kinds of things there. There's musical performances. There are people cracking jokes. There's Celtic music bands. People with those bagpipes, the violins, all that stuff. There are performers that use fire or do tricks with the hula hoops or steps or whatever. Like, there's a lot more to experience than just the shops. And I kid you not, there are some places where they actually have real live animals going around. Like, there were a couple people there that were riding on horseback. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Must be pretty hard for the horses to maneuver around, but I guess the people riding them are trained professionals, so hey, more power to them. But when you go to the shops, there are all kinds of things to get. There is a shop that has necklaces with Celtic runes on them, and each rune has like a different meaning on them. There are leather notebooks that are made with actual leather, not like the store brand stuff. I mean real leather. When you actually feel it in your hands, you can tell, oh, that's real leather. There are also special pillows with special messages on them. I think I got one for Dad for his Christmas gift. And then, like, that's not even scratching the surface. There is like special herbs and seasonings and beer and stuff like that you can only get at the Renaissance Festival. Like, you cannot get it anywhere else except Renaissance. So there's that, and there's also fancy mugs like this. My mom actually got this for me as a Christmas gift while I wasn't looking, and it's my favorite mug ever since. I was getting thirsty, so. So, throughout this place, there were a lot of places to explore, and one of the distinct memories that come to me is when we were at this sword shop, and I mean real swords. So, me and my dad were walking through here, seeing blades of like different sizes and different colors too. I overheard a conversation where they're saying that I think it has to do with either the creation plot process in the blacksmith, like maybe different chemicals, different fires, or different metals and stuff like that. There's a very specific process. So me and my dad are walking through here, and my dad calls over and says, "Hey, why don't you feel this? Like, feel how a real sword, feel how heavy a real sword is." So I put my hand around the hilt, and no, I did not take it all the way out, just a little bit, because there's a lot of people nearby. Safety is the number one concern. So I grab the hilt, and as I'm pulling it up, it feels like as if I'm lifting a long dumbbell. Like, I was easily feeling like 5 pounds or even more than that. I was like, holy cow, how heavy is this? And it gave me like a newfound perspective on like swords and similar weapons like that, and also a newfound level of respect for the blacksmiths that still make swords like these in this day and age, and even those back then, because like there's a certain craft that goes into making like a real sword, not just like a prop sword you put on a wall, or like maybe a toy wooden sword you get in stores. I mean like a real authentic metal sword. Like, there's just this feeling you can't get anywhere else. And it gives you perspective, because when you see stuff like video games or animes or movies where people are swinging the sword so quickly and lightly, that is bull. That is a lot of bull. I'll tell you that right now. Like, how much, like, considering how heavy that sword felt, like, you would have to be physically fit or strong enough to, like, keep the sword in position, let alone swinging it without throwing your body in the process, you know? And there was also a dagger place as well that we looked at, and there was one specific creator. I can't remember the name of him for the life of me, but his dagger work is so popular that when we asked about like how long it would take, he mentioned that there was actually a 2-year wait time at minimum for the order to be received. And I was like, what? Like, I've heard of like weeks or months, but never 2 years. But if your craft is good enough that you're willing to wait, that customers are willing to wait 2+ years just to get it, must be really good. More power to you. So we're going around, exploring new places, seeing very unique animals that are there. And then finally, we get to the wand shop. And I actually have them right here. So there's these carrot cases, bags right here where you can get the wands in. And there's all kinds of wands there. There are even those where, like, at the back of it, you can actually unscrew to get, to get to a secret compartment within the wand if you want to put small stuff like that, like maybe herbs or powder or stuff like that. But I didn't really think I needed that. So there's actually 2 different ones I got. I'm going to pull them out right now. There we go. So, here they are. So, this one, if I remember correctly, is called Twilight. It's pretty standard in terms of like the form and the shape, but like, whoa, don't want to drop that. But what I really like about this is like the simplicity and the elegance of the design. It's simple and yet smooth. Like, you could really feel that it's really well made, that it was created with care. And then this one, if I remember correctly, was called Crystal. This one, I really love the style and the design of it. Like, it's hand painted and kind of carved, and it's got these patterns and shapes that you don't typically find in a wand. So I really wanted to buy this right away. So both of these wands combined with the carrying bags that go with them, it cost me around like $60 easily, which is reasonable. It's understandable. And I kid you not, there was actually a wand holster that you can buy, like little sleeves that you could probably put under the arm or maybe around the waist where you just quickly pull it out. And I had to stop myself from giggling or laughing when I saw that, because I was imagining, like, maybe it was the Old West for wizards, and when they have like a showdown at high noon, it's like, it's high noon, draw your wands, wata! Like, that was the first thing I thought of when I saw the wand holsters, like the Wild West Wizards. Hashtag Wild West Wizards. Draw. Like, I got to experience a lot, and there was a couple other things which I will get to during the second Renaissance visit. Trust me, it's worth it to save it till the end or later on. But yeah. I know I can speak right today, dang it. But we were getting some food and kind of wrapping up for the day. And I was like playing with my wand. I was swish and flick, swish and flick. And my dad looks at me and he says, you look like a nerd playing with that wand, right? And like, I look at him and I'm just looking around and I'm just asking myself, like, what kind of people do you think we're surrounded by anyway? You got people dressed up as like Captain Jack Sparrow, video game characters, anime characters, knights in armor, and I'm the one that looks like the nerd. Yeah, it's real good there. But we play around like that all the time just for future reference, so it's all good. So that was my first time. I really loved the experience. Now, this past year, the second time I went to Colorado, I actually got to act as a guide because we had a cousin visiting from out of state. So I kind of got to show him, everything that there was to see. So the second time, I was going for the experience rather than buying something because I didn't have any cash on me. And the ATMs and I haven't been exactly friends as of late. I don't know why, but... So I did not have any cash on me, and I didn't think I was going to get anything, which was probably a good thing at that moment. So we were going there for just the experience. I was showing my cousin around, like, what the Renaissance Festival is like. And when you don't have the mindset for, like, trying to buy something, I think it's actually a good thing because you get to experience more than you may have missed. Because, like, there was one place we stopped at where there was this fire performer that lights the sticks on fire, blows fire and stuff like that. We stopped for a little bit, just watched him do his work. Although at the beginning there was like, I know he was doing it for the kids, but like there was so many fire puns and jokes that he was making and fire one-liners that like after a few minutes I just felt burnt out afterwards. Wait a minute. I just realized I made a fire pun! Look what you made me do! Ugh. I did not mean to do that pun. I'm sorry. I did not plan that out. I swear. But when he actually got to like performing with fire, it was really cool. Like he was like lighting a stick on fire, wiping it with his hand casually, like with like no gloves or anything like that, just the bare hands. I wonder if there's maybe some kind of lubricant on it. And, like, he was lighting his mouth on fire, spinning the sticks around, blowing fire, stuff like that. It was pretty fun to watch. So, there was that. And we got to see a couple of the activity places that people could participate as well. That there were these giant trampolines where people could do aerial stunts. There was this giant swing where a whole family group can go in, get their seatbelts on. Then there's a group of people underneath you that runs towards the end. It just pushes the swing upwards, so you're like going like several feet in the air as you're swinging back and forth. And there's some face painting areas. There was also, let's see, what else was there? There was a couple of games where a kid would get on like this toy horse and try to get the jousting ring. There was a climbing activity like rock climbing and stuff. There was a lot of things there that I didn't notice before because I did not have the mindset of buying something. Like I did not have a goal of buying stuff. And because of that, I was able to enjoy even more of it and, take some videos too. And one of my favorite parts was the jousting. Like, just watching the people on the horseback, and they were in armors too, mind you. They also wore armors. Like, they must have some AC stuff running there, because I don't know how they would have been able to survive in those armored suits on horseback on a hot summer day where the metal of the armor would heat up too. There's got to be some AC in there somewhere. I don't know where, but it has to be somewhere. And when you watch the people jousting, like doing the game of skills, like trying to get the hoops on the lances, and then trying to use a sword to cut a thing of lettuce, and then we get to the actual jousting where, they're trying to hit the shields and the lances. Like, there is so much going on that I don't think really gets enough credit, really. Because there was this History Channel series that I watched, it was only one season, where competitors were competing in jousting. And there was a lot to consider when it comes to jousting. Because, you have to compensate for moving up and down while riding on horseback. You also have to take into account the weight of the lance, the weight of the shield, the armor. And you also got to think about the speed, the precision, the aiming, the timing, bracing if you're going to get hit with a lance. There's so much that needs to be taken into account, and it gives me a whole new level of respect for those who participate in jousting. And for those who think that, jousting's fun, no one could get seriously hurt. No! No. That is the wrong way to think about it. Because if I remember correctly from that jousting series from the History Channel, they actually compared to getting hit with a lance while jousting, they compared it to getting hit with a truck. And they're not talking about size. They're talking about the speed that you're going, the weight of the lance, because the two jousters are running towards each other on horseback at full speed. They have to get the lance in position in order to hit the target, and not the other knight, ideally. And there's the force that goes into the shielded area right here, which is kind of around here, give or take. There's so much force and positioning and timing and stuff. It's not easy. And if they're not doing it right, someone could get seriously injured. So it gives a whole new perspective on, the jousting experience, which for me, it made it more enjoyable for me to watch it, knowing what goes into account. I mean, not doing it myself. I will never joust. Don't want to get hit with one of those lances. But, when you think about everything that goes into it, you kind of respect the sport and tradition a little bit more, So we talked about some of these scenery and shows and stuff like that. But one thing I did not talk about is the food. There is a lot of great food to be had at the Renaissance Festival, but remember to have cash, because most food places, from what I've seen, only do cash. There is the turkey legs that kind of look like those muttons in the cartoons, this big stick of meat on there. They think they're turkey legs. I'm not really a fan of turkey legs because they're kind of too dry for me, but hey, a lot of people love them. There's also pork sandwiches. There's also, a lot of sausage stuff and corn dogs. There's a lot of food to be had, that some of which can only be experienced at the Renaissance Festival, like the turkey leg I mentioned. And for the Larkspur, Colorado Renaissance that I remember, the one thing that everyone loves to go for, unless you're vegetarian, is steak on a steak, which is literally what you think it is. It's a grilled steak, seasoned, then they skewer it on a steak, then boom, that's it. Steak on a steak. But it's so simplistic, but it's so popular that lines would be kind of wrapping almost around the building, which has a few other vendors, just to get in line for the steak on a steak. So if you get one, they're really good. One thing I will say, though, if you're planning for lunch, try to get there before noon, because afternoon, almost all of the food vendors are fold up. They got long lines for them. So you're going to be waiting for a bit. So you probably want to get like a water bottle or 2 or 3 before, going to a food place and waiting in a line. And I kid you not, the longest line that I saw, the food stand with the longest line, was the French fries. The French fries of all things. Out of all the food choices, the French fries station was the longest. And when I looked at a couple people with their fries, the fries didn't look special. They look typical for a festival event. And I was like, they'd had to be the best French fries in the world to make me wait in a long line just for fries. So that wasn't going to happen. So I just settled with a lemonade and a water bottle. I had breakfast beforehand. So we ate some lunch, me and the family and my cousin. And what happened was they were looking around for specific stuff to buy after experiencing things like meeting with animals and elephants. That's another thing. My mom actually went over with my younger brother and some of the other cousins that came along, and they were saying that they saw elephants. Elephants in the Renaissance Festival. And I was like, you see how crowded it is, right? How cramped it could be. How could they fit the elephants in there? Like, honestly, I did not believe them. But then my mom actually pulls out her phone, shows some of the photos, and lo and behold, there was actually real elephants there, like big elephants. And I was like, how did I miss that? Like, how do I miss an elephant that's so big? But apparently they were able to clear a way to get the elephants in and out. So that was probably a great experience for them. I didn't get to see them. And then I make a big mistake. And I will show you why. Hold on. All right. So I'm trying not to show it. Oh, it's pretty big. So, let me talk about my mistake. There was this place that had all these magic staffs and broomsticks, if you will. Now, last year, I didn't get any of them because, one, they were too expensive, and, and two, the craftsmanship on them wasn't really that good, if I'm going to be honest. It kind of looked like an arts and crafts. But this year, they really improved the quality of the magic staffs they had. And the one I got was this. So if you take a look right here, it's like really smooth, refined wood. It's sealed, and it's a simplistic pattern. Got this leather grip on here, and then as you get over here, there's these it's kind of like roots, or maybe some kind of branch, or maybe like seaweed. No, not seaweed, but if you look at it, it kind of looks like this crystal right here at the top. It kind of looks as if life is coming from the crystal, and it's kind of spreading down into the wooden staff, kind of growing intertwined with it. So you're probably thinking, this looks like a really nice magic staff. Why would this be a mistake? That's not the part that was a mistake. The mistake I made was, again, I had no intentions of buying this. So what happened was, I look at this, I really like the design. The mistake I made was going to the cashier and then asking, you guys only do cash, right? You only do cash? And then she turns to me and says, oh no, dearie, we actually do credit cards as well. In fact, most vendors that sell stuff like this do credit cards. Now, food places, they usually do just cash, but places like here, they do card. And then, I kid you not, through some sort of sorcery, the wallet comes out of my pocket. I look at the staff, And it's like, it is whispering to me, calling out to me. And the wallet just looks at that, looks at me and goes, "Don't you do it. Do not buy it." I look at the staff and I go, "I'm gonna buy it." "Don't you do it." "I'm gonna do it." "Don't you do it." "I'm gonna do it." "Don't you do it." "Why are you doing that? Why are you doing me?" So, what happened was, I end up buying the staff. And you're probably thinking, how much? Was it 100? No. 200? No. What it was around 275 before tax, and after tax was 298. Yep. 298 for this. Is it overpriced? Maybe. But, when people are vendors at the Renaissance Festival, the goal is to make money. And if you can make the good enough craft, then, you can probably justify the high prices. And, my wallet is like, go. Oh, jeez. I'm just trying to put the wallet away. But it's like, the wallet is like, "I curse you. I curse you. You will get a moment's sleep thinking about your boyish remorse." Oh, man. But, it's a really cool staff, very nicely designed. And, I might use it for, maybe a promotional video, maybe a skit or two. Because, I already got a Halloween skit in mind for this. You're going to be seeing this later this year. I assure you of that. It's one of those things where I didn't plan on getting this, but I got it anyway. My wallet's going to be cursing me to kingdom come. But, that's besides the point. The point is, when you go to a Renaissance Festival, you go there for the experience, You don't go there just for the sake of, getting food or, just taking selfies and stuff like that. You go there for the experience. You go there for items like this you can't get anywhere else but Renaissance festivals. But you also go there for, just having a good time. Bring some friends, bring some family. It's much more enjoyable to enjoy it as a group rather than, just going on your own. So that is my experience with Renaissance festivals. And, we haven't seen anyone comment on here, but if you're watching this afterwards, if you're watching this afterwards and, you have experience with Renaissance festivals that maybe you want to share, let me know in the comment section below. Maybe you bought something more expensive than this to make me feel better, And for those that are watching this after it's live and you want to catch it live, we're usually live on Fridays at noon Mountain Time. And if you want to be notified of when we go live, because sometimes they're earlier, sometimes they're later, then it's important that you hit the subscribe button and you also click the bell icon. That will notify you when I'm going live, because I don't do the 30-minute premiere thing. I go live, there's a few minutes of the wait screen, and then boom, we're live. So, I hope you enjoy watching this stream, whether you're watching it now or watching it later. If you enjoy what you see, consider subscribing to Toastamac and clicking the bell icon to stay up to date in our latest videos and streams. Actually, let me see if I can cast a spell on you, not curse you. You will subscribe to Toastamac. You will enjoy the content on Toastamac. You leave a like and a comment about why you like Toaster Bag, or it will be a curse upon ye. I'm gonna have way too much fun with this. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. And of course, if you have any topics or streams you would like for me to do, just let me know. I'll look into it. And until the next video or stream, see you later.